Girls, who at the pool today said to Sean that they think that I was just using him tit for tat?
No, he says we hope it
Not
weren't
me.
for that.
Nothing
He
to do
said
with me.
it, and then we
He said he didn't. He said that the girls kind of
Nothing to do with me.
suggested it to him.
We never suggested it at all.
And just
The villa is interesting. If you look at the dating or if you look at the connections and how people navigate them, it tells you a lot about relationships. The audacity for Ronnie to be in a couple with someone for 24 hours and then he's already pursuing somebody else doesn't make sense. So he likes the chase. And once he's caught them, he wants to move on to the next one. And Joey. We all knew he wasn't feeling Samantha. We all knew he wasn't feeling Samantha. The idea that he meets up with his ex and he's already eating her face off, make sense. I don't get it, because most people, when their exes come, they try and avoid them like a plague. And so for him to be with, Grace and making out like that. Anyway, I digress. Hey there. Thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island, season 11, episode 12. Okay, just a disclaimer. Somebody wrote in the comments that apparently I'm obsessed with hating Uma. As I've said before, and I'll repeat, my reviews are never aimed to sort of be or hateful towards anyone. I try my best not to say anything malicious in regard to somebody else. I can dislike certain things about someone, but you can never know someone 100% in order to say, I hate this person, because the more you get to know them, the more you might discover you actually like certain bits of them, but there are certain bits that you dislike. And I've always called out Uma's bad behavior. So I don't know if calling out somebody's bad behaviors is hating them, then hey, it is what it is. Anyway, so you have all the islanders sort of branching off into little groups after the game, and others are very inquisitive and want to know what was written on the rest of the cups. And it's like, hey, it is what it is. Ronnie, I don't get it. Ronnie is playing silly games. I think Ronnie likes being in the mix because he liked the drama with the love triangle. And when that was taken away from him, he started trying to create another love triangle with Tiffany. I don't get why. Given the fact that Harriet has been through a lot, she's endured a lot from Jesse in order to be with him. And so for him to start making inappropriate comments about him and Tiffany, I don't like that. I really don't like that. I think he needs to be careful. He needs to try and be careful that he doesn't alienate other people by trying to be popular or by trying to look to be sort of in the mix. Anyway, you have Jess sit down. She sits down with Kieran. I didn't like that. I didn't like the snarky remarks she made about Harriet. It's like, it's not that deep, girls. None of you is married to this man. This man is a rolling stone. He's already moving on to the next girl. So the idea that the two of you would have so much dislike or disdain for one another doesn't make sense. She had a conversation with Will and was, oh, you saved the best for last. I think Jess is too pompous. She's too full of herself. I think she thinks more highly of herself than she actually is, and I think it's going to take somebody humbling her to realize that actually that's not it. And she was saying, oh, if you're not being talked about, then you're not popular or something like that. And it's like, so she's doing every single thing she's doing so that she's in the mix, so that she's talked about. When she comes out, she has a bit of clout because people have been talking about her online. That's the impression that gave me. And then Samantha, Joey, Grace situation, that doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense. The way people are being so territorial about people doesn't make sense, in the sense that Samantha is going to sleep on the daybeds just because she's upset because Joey kissed Grace in a game, and it's like, make it make sense. You're not married to this person. You've told Will you're open, so explore things with Will. If you're meant to be with Joey, you'll be with Joey. Otherwise, that's it. You were with him because you managed to scare off all the other girls in the villa. Grace has got a history with him, and she's not going to be afraid of you. So it's either you suck it up and you keep going with Joey, or you keep quiet and you sit in a corner. I don't know. Anyway, the islanders get ready for bed, and it's interesting to see the body language in bed. Harriet was upset with Ronnie for trying to flirt with Tiffany in her presence, and yet they're pulling the duvet over their heads, and it's like, make it make sense. This is why this man behaves like an idiot, because nobody ever holds him accountable, so he's free to do as he pleases. You have the bombshells sleep in a room on their own, and you have this conversation between Tiffany and Grace, and it's like TMI, because Tiffany was sort of asking, have you slept with Joey? And she said yes. How was the sex? And she told her, and it's like, oh, why are we discussing this? This is not appropriate, because when you leave the villa and you watch this, how will you feel? I don't know. Samantha sleeps on the day bed. Do I think that was right? No. If she didn't want to sleep in a bed with Joey should have been the one to sleep outside. But then, hey, maybe she was trying to make a statement or prove a point. So all the islanders go to sleep, and I really love the fact that they've taken out the debriefs. The debriefs were annoying. So you did have a mini debrief, but it wasn't really. It was more to do with the drama surrounding Samantha, because Joey is feeling some type of way. I know he did tell Tiffany that he and Samantha, he really liked her, but it was more friendship vibes. That's what he said. And so the idea that she slept outside, he's not feeling it because he thinks she was trying to prove a point. And so to hear him sort of say this again to the guys, that he doesn't like the way she's been behaving, makes you think that Joey has been humoring her because he didn't have any options. Had Harriet or Uma stepped up to him, he would have left Samantha. And she was giving stalker vibes. I said this a couple of reviews ago, so I get where he's coming from, and I get why he's upset. You have Samantha complaining to the girls, well, I want to give him a chance to sort of see if they can rekindle. If not, then whatever. And it's like, you lost him. You lost him because you had him, because you were able to sort of scare the rest of the girls away from him. Now that somebody else has come, somebody that he has a history with, he is gone. And he's not coming back. This is why the girls were telling you not to talk about Howie, his show, but you kept talking about it and coming across as a fan. And so you have Joey in the kitchen with Grace, and you can see he's excited. Even in the morning when Grace walked into the main bedroom area, you could see his smiled, his face was beaming. So eventually he gets to talking to her, and he's trying to say, there are a lot of things about Samantha that sort of, I think he had a lot of red flags with Samantha and was trying to sort of just ignore it and just see if he could continue with her. And now that someone that he likes has come in, he's decided to sort of let it be known that there are things about Samantha that he doesn't like, things about Samantha that scare him. And so this is why he's thinking of making moves. I can foresee him making moves and coupling up with Grace. And the problem is Samantha hasn't entertained any of the other guys from the moment Joey Essex came in. So the chances of her being able to establish a connection are highly unlikely, unless the producers want to stay in the villa and they decide to couple her up with someone like Oma. Will, I don't think he's really feeling her like that, because Will was saying Uma is unreal. So Will seems more interested in Uma than he does in Samantha. I think Samantha, a lot of guys don't feel it that way, especially given the way she was sort of obsessive about Joey. Anyway, you have the islanders relaxing. You have Harriet sort of have a conversation with Tiffany, sort of saying that she's been coupled up with Ronnie for a day, and things have been going great, but she thinks he gets excitable around people. She felt disrespected by the fact that, he made the comment about Tiffany in front of everyone. And this is what I said. Ronnie likes the attention. He likes the attention. And the way he was grafting, Tiffany is shocking, given the fact that the other girls have had to graft him. He hasn't had to graft them. So the idea that you would have to graft somebody else when he's finally got one of the people that he liked, because he seemed to like Harriet more, doesn't make sense to me. So Grace receives a text message to say the bombshells will be taking 3 islanders for a sleepover, and they get to choose who they want to go with. Tiffany chose Ronnie. Ronnie was ecstatic. We know he likes the attention. Will chose Uma. He's really fancied Uma. He's really spoken very highly of her, so I'm not surprised that he chose her. And Grace chose Joey. Is anyone surprised? No, there was no way she was going to take Oma, even though she said he was a type. She was always going to take Joey, I think, because she wants to see if there's still something there. Samantha was very upset as soon as the text message came, and it's like, you don't own this man. And for her to make this comment about, Joey Essex, and it's like, this is the problem. This is why he's been turned off you, because it seems like you're just a groupie, you're a fan, someone who's interested in him just because you're his fan, not because you like him as Joey, a person. And this is why you're struggling. So they go over to the other little villa, and you have Joey. Joey is smitten. Joey is smitten with Grace. He's ecstatic that Grace is there. Most people, when their exes come, they try and avoid them, but Joey is actually going head on. And he told her that, he because he's told the islanders that the moment Grace walked into the villa, he started exposing that, I have friendship vibes with Samantha. There are things that she said that have put me off, this, that, and the other. And so for him to tell Grace tells you that he's opening the door for Grace to pick him at Recoupling. He wants Grace to pick him because he's already tried to sell Samantha to Will. And because Will hasn't made that move, he's decided to sell himself to Grace. And hopefully Grace picks him. And you can tell they want to make out. They're going to make out because he asks her, oh, can I put some sunscreen on you? And it's like, Joey, you've been in the villa for 2 weeks. We've barely seen you do that for Samantha. Yet suddenly you're doing this for Grace the moment you're away, the two of you. Make that make sense. Ron is ecstatic that he's been chosen. He is flirting up a storm, even though he says, yeah, he's still with Harriet and he's still wanting to get to see where that goes. And it's like, this is going to lead to tears. If he can do that to Harriet, I wonder what he'll do to Tiffany. If I were Tiffany, I would leave him alone and go back and maybe speak to Oma and see if you can get somewhere with either Oma or Sean, because this man will play you the same way he's already played 2 girls in the villa. You have, he's chatting with Oma. They seem really very relaxed and it's very organic, the flirting and the conversation, which is what you should aim for. You shouldn't force anything at all. So it's very organic. They seem very happy. They're talking about their eyes and stuff. And then Ronnie joins them for a chat and he's sort of saying, they're asking him, so does this mean you and Harriet are over? And he says, no, but hey, at the moment, more or less like whoever's in front of me is the one I'm going to flirt with. Whoever's not there, till next time, till I meet them. And it's like, oh, okay, do you? Back at the villa, you have Samantha, Harriet, and Nicole, I think, having a conversation with Sean because he is worried. He feels like, Jessie used him to prove a point. We all know that. Even a blind man can see that. She used him to try and sort of make Ronnie jealous. And the problem is Ronnie's moved from her to Harriet and now he's moved to Tiffany. So her coupling up with Sean didn't make any sense. And poor Sean, he hasn't had a connection with any of the girls in the villa. So I understand where Harriet is coming from. Even Samantha seconds it, that they hope that Jess actually coupled up with him because she wanted to get to know him, not because she was using him as a pawn in her game with Ronnie. So it will be interesting to see how that plays out. Oh, finally we get to see Mimi with Ayo and Oma have just a normal conversation that's not very tense and very relaxed. Well, for me, here's what I think. I sort of get where Ayo is coming from, but I also think he was trying to save his boy. This is why he didn't want to sort of, he was pretending to play dumb because, they were talking about Kieran and Nicole and the kiss in the game. And then Oma lets it be known that, Kieran said he wanted to kiss Grace, but he copped out and he kissed Jess. And it's like, you have this conversation, this back and forth. And Mimi was right to say, it depends on why he wanted to kiss her. Was he kissing her just because it was a game? Or was he kissing her because he wanted to initiate a conversation or initiate a connection with her? And so for Ayo to say, oh no, it was just a game. He was just doing it because it's just a game. And it's like, no, that's not it. Kieran is attracted to Grace. We saw his excitement when Grace pulled him for a chat. So the idea that he would just kiss her just for the sake of it, that's not it. He was kissing her because it was a free get out of jail card, 1, and 2, because he wanted to let her know that he's keen on her. And sadly for him, Joey is there. So whether or not he kissed her, that would not have made any difference because she doesn't seem to really feel him like that. I think she associates him with Nicole and she would rather leave that alone. Joey is in a happy place. He's in his happy place. The interesting thing about Joey is the fact that he's been with Grace for a couple of hours and yet he's kissed her more than he's kissed Sam, who he's been in a couple with for 2 weeks. So I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't understand why he hasn't sort of broken up with Samantha and pursued things. I think he was interested in Oma or Harriet. And because they were afraid of Samantha, he was sort of sitting there and biding his time. And the moment that Grace walked in, he saw it as his get out of jail card. And so he's decided to pursue someone who he has a connection and a history with. And he's ecstatic. He's smitten. He was even talking to the guys and saying, we're going to forget about the villa and we're just going to have an amazing time here. And poor Samantha, somebody's going to need to have paramedics on standby lie, because the moment Uma comes, because Uma was spying and she sort of downloads everything that happened in that sleepover, oh my God, poor thing is going to be heartbroken. She really is going to be heartbroken. But then at the same time, you can't hold on to someone who doesn't want to be held on to. You can't. And so she was right to sleep outside. She needs to make moves and she needs to try and explore connections with other people. Sadly, there isn't anyone for her to explore with outside of Sean, because Sean is not in a couple with anyone. And I don't know whether Sean feels her like that, because Sean has tried with Harriet. She's turned him down. He's tried with Jesse, and Jesse seems to just be using him. So I don't know whether he'll be keen to try things with Samantha again, because otherwise he'll just feel used. Maybe he might wait for Casa if he's still around. Anyway, the islanders get ready, and they change and they get ready for their toasts and sort of branch off into little groups. And the people in the sleepover sort of get steaks, and they're all ecstatic because they're like, oh my God, we have steaks tonight. This is A+. And it's like, Ronnie, please keep quiet. I don't know. They're all cute and they're all well dressed, and it's so sweet. It's so sweet. It's nice to see them just be relaxed without anyone spying. As Joey was saying, that in the main villa, it seems everybody's spying and wants to know what people are talking about. It's interesting that after the recoupling speech, Jess had a conversation with Ronnie and sort of implied that she had only coupled up with Sean just because she didn't want to be a part of the love triangle and she wanted Ronnie to make his mind up. And yet now, when she sits down for a chat with Sean and he's sort of telling her that, the girls and I had a conversation and it sort of came up that you might be using me just for, just to get back at Ronnie. And she gets upset at that and is like, who told you that? Why did they tell you that? That's not the truth. And it's like, make it make sense. This is the truth. This is why you coupled up with this man. You never liked him. You told Will that, he's not your type. There's no spark there. There's nothing. So why are you pretending like you really were interested in getting to know him? You didn't even give him a chance, regardless of the fact that he was doing everything that you wanted Ronnie to do for you. So please, own it with your full chest and keep quiet. So for her to go and confront the girls at the fire pit and then start saying, oh, who amongst you said this, blah, blah, blah. I don't get it. If she really knew that she was innocent, she should have called him and taken him to the fire pit and done a squat and taken him to the fire pit where the girls were and had a conversation with everyone who was in the pool to say, can you tell me who came up with this rumor and why did it come up? Who is this? What you think? Do you have any evidence to sort of back it up or whatever? But she didn't do that. So the idea that she would now pretend to be offended and aggrieved when she's just broken up with this young man because she's told him that she's not feeling him doesn't make sense. She should have apologized and kept it moving and just left it like that. There's no need for her to sort of pretend like she's aggrieved and she's upset and this, that, and the other. Why me? Why me? Oh, please keep quiet. We're not here for that. And we really don't have the patience for it or the time to listen to you moan about something that is a lie. Anyway, so you then have, I love it. You see the mental health practitioner come out of Minnie because she sat down with Kieran. They've been close friends with Kieran. I remember Kieran was sort of fighting her battle for her during the Ayo and Uma situation, because she even said to Ayo that Minnie is an amazing girl. She's handled the situation very well and I really like her. And I like how she handled the situation with Kieran and his comments about Grace. It was totally different to the way Jess handled the situation about Uma, finding out that Ayo had kissed Mimi in bed, because she sat down with him and asked him open-ended questions in a non-confrontational way that he was just volunteering information without realizing that she's, assessing him or she's probing him to give her the answers that she wanted. And for her to sort of say, I'm not going to tell her, but I just want to give you a heads up that if I know it, then somebody else is going to tell her. And if I were you, I would go in, tell her first, and sort of make sure that you let her hear your side of the story before somebody else comes and gives a diluted or maybe a sort of modified version of whatever happened. So that was really sweet. I love their friendship. I really love their friendship. I know the girls haven't been the best to Mimi, but I like to see that at least she's got one of the guys fighting her battle and someone she can confide in. It was cute to see. It was really cute to see. And then you have, Harriet and Samantha by the fire pit sort of moaning, oh, why us? Oh, boys, we always knew they were going to be the ones to be taken. And it's like, seriously, what do you think? Do you think Joey and Ronnie are the it? Then your opinion of guys must be very low. For you to think that they are the golden boys in the villa, it doesn't make sense. There are other guys who are way better than those two. So I don't get how the two of you are sort of thinking that you have the prize, you have the best guys in the villa. Meanwhile, in the Sleepover, you have Ronnie busy kissing Tiffany, and it's like, you are crying that Ronnie, you know, is wasting your time, blah, 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 blah. And yet he is enjoying himself and is having the time of his life. He's kissing the bombshell, and he doesn't even seem phased that he's in a couple with somebody else, or he's left a connection in the villa. And you know, you had Harriet saying, I wish somebody would just be for me. And it's like, Sean put all his eggs in your basket and you threw them out. So how can you say you want someone who's all in it for you? I think the girls don't like Sean. They like Sean, but I think they don't like him because he's very quiet and very peaceful. And they want someone who will get them the drama and will get them a lot of airtime. So if they couple up with someone like Sean, then it's going to be boring. And the producers are not going to, you know, really tell their story. And this is why everyone wants the naughty boys, the guys that are in the mix and are sort of creating or causing a lot of chaos in the villa. That's the impression that I get. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 11. Bye guys.